Hello, my name is Asia. I go by Samurai Asia on Instagram and YouTube. I'm a cosplayer, cosplay videographer, and producer.
Sorry if I'm like a little bit taken back. I'm like paying attention to all your like memorabilia in the back. I
I
thoroughly
have
love
so
it.
much stuff. I like your shelf. It's a lot more organized than mine. Mine, the bottom two needs work. I'm gonna ignore the bottom. Yours is that's a nice Gojo poster.
Obviously, anime is like a huge inspiration to a lot of people. So, what inspired you to join into the world of cosplay?
Hmm. I was inspired by because I used to watch cosplay music videos on YouTube a lot in high school. I'm not sure how I discovered. I think I was going to go to an anime convention, so it somehow came on my like YouTube recommended page. And I saw these cosplay music videos. I was like, wow, like this is so cool. People like dress up at like anime conventions. And then that's how I did my first cosplay New York Comic Con, and I dressed up as Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service. And yeah, that's how I at least that's how I remember how I got into cosplay and just anime. Well, not anime, but just cosplay in general.
I never heard of that anime, so like Oh, is that Studio Ghibli?
You have to know this.
No,
You know
I
it because I'm watching
there is
it.
only oh so much content that you will be able to consume
I
in your
like
life.
skip it up. I'm like, I gotta get it all. I gotta get it all. So
Um, so seeing how that was the first one, when was like because you just said New York Comic Con, what year of New York Comic Con?
that was 2010. So 2010. Was it? No, that can't be 2010. It has to be 2013. It had to be 2013 was the first time.
Okay.
2013. 2013. 2013. 2013, I want to say.
2013 sounds
That's what
like
I want to say. That's what I want to say. I think I was in 10th grade, 2013. I would say yeah.
I graduated 2014.
I got you in 2015. Oh my gosh.
Um, so with all hold on, I gotta make sure I ask this one right. Um, so through all the cosplays that you've done, have you created your own like hierarchy or like no characters that you did it once and you're like, yeah, no, never again. But there are like certain characters that you're like, yeah, no, I really like doing this one, so I'm gonna do this one a little bit more often.
I've never repeated a cosplay actually, but I want to do that more. Um, because I feel like there's almost like a hidden stigma about repeating cosplays or just like your mind of just you don't want to see the post again. I think there's nothing wrong with that, with repeating cosplays or doing a V2 of it if you did it years ago, like redoing it again. So I'm open to it, but I feel like I've done a lot of cosplays at the same time. I feel like I have not. So I'm like, I think there's always like more I can do. And I have more on like cosplays I want to do once I get better at building and like, craftsmanship and sewing, but I don't think I'm there yet. The one I am, yes. Yes, there are like dream cosplays that I want to accomplish.
So then, from my understanding, you buy all your cosplays, or you buy like a good portion of them.
A good portion of them. I've like handmade a few cosplays, but I do buy a good portion of them. Like my shell from the road to El Dorado, I made that all by hand, and that was just the most stressful experience of my life. Um, because I can only hand sew. So I was moving at a snail's rate, like 100%. And then what I do, with a lot of cosplay, will thrift portions. I will thrift portions of my cosplay And he does this because I'm talking, and he feels like he doesn't have attention. So this is just him. This is just a
Cute,
cat.
cute Charlie Puth.
I
You just want
yeah,
attention.
literally. So what I'll do, I'll go to thrift stores, and like for instance, um, I think it's a good example. Like I'll go to a thrift store and I'll find something that sort of looks like the cosplay I wanted to do or a piece of it, and I'll thrift it. And then I'll like buy a different piece, or then it's fabric, and then I'll like make the top piece. Or I already have a shirt that kind of looks like Monique from Kim Possible. Like I went to a thrift store and I found like men's cargo pants. I was like, great, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm using a cosplay, and I already had a black top that kind of like match the character. It depends. I mean, like when I did the muses from Hercules, like I just used bed sheets and like a piece of fabric, and I literally just moved the bed sheet around and I made it work, and it posted well. So I mean, I don't know
No, the moment you
what
said
you
that,
gotta do.
very much like you do what you do on a budget doesn't matter. Like, do
Yeah.
go make it simple. But it reminded me of every year for like senior week. There's always like a Greek week, and it's
Mm.
always
Oh.
it's always the white people. And I'll be honest, as a white passing Latino, I would only see white. I would never see the Hispanics, black people. I would never
Yep.
see any of them do it.
You're not wrong. You're not
White bed
wrong.
sheets everywhere. I was like, y'all kind of looking like the Klan over here. I'm just gonna mind
You're
my
not wrong.
business. And they're like,
I did
what? You're
the
not
first
gonna?
time, and it was rough. It was rough.
And they're like,
So.
hey man, like you're not gonna do this. Like, why didn't you come prepared? I'm like, there's a reason, and I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
my ass over there away from y'all.
I 100% feel that. 100%. I veto that.
Um, so what? This one's kind of a weird one, but what do you think is your biggest strength as a cosplayer?
Hmm.
And if you can't come up with that one, what is your biggest weakness?
I don't think I have any strengths per se. I think my biggest one is I can make something out of nothing, like bed sheets or going to a thrift store and kind of bring something to life. That I can individualize pieces of a look and bring it together, especially when it comes to post and editing. Certain times I have a piece of clothing that's not the right color, and I just change the color, and I make it work like that. So I think for me, I think that's something that I'm good at. Weakness, I think it's just comparing yourself to the algorithm, and everyone gets in those funks where they don't want to post, or finding inspiration to post. I've definitely been in one of those for a long time, and I'm trying to come out of that rut because I do like creating. There's never enough time, so I want to use the time that I have now while I can, able body to like create what I would like to create.
If you don't mind, because I know that I've only met you recently through
Mm-hmm.
Slice of Anime. What like if could you run through the catalog of the things in which you've done,
Ooh.
or
Uh,
or at least like some of your favorites?
oh gosh. I don't think I can remember all the characters' names, but one of my favorites was uh I started to do Black History Month. I think cosplays. I think it was a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I started to do it, but I didn't do it all the way. And I did like the muses from Hercules, and I did that one, the maid from The Promised Neverland, and then for all these posts I were doing for Black History Month, I was writing about um, the character, the in-depth insight in the voice actors and why they're important, XYZ. Other favorites was Yuriichi from Bleach. I think the one I posted recently was a favorite. The Hot Lifeguard from Lilo and Stitch. Uh, I
Yeah,
think Shell,
I saw that
Shell
one and I
from
was like, ooh, crush me, mommy.
yeah,
I oof.
yeah,
I
right
was
here.
like, oof. I was like,
I like.
I can't comment that because I'm gonna sound real thirsty, but she
Yeah, so
bodied
that was
that
like,
perfection.
thank you. That was like a dream, not dream cosplay, but I've always thought about it. I just never did it. So like, I'm glad that I did it. I feel like numbers really hold you back, so I definitely turned off like the high like count thing. I try to ignore it. But sex was for Instagram Reels. It shows. I don't understand. Let's see. Shell from Road to El Dorado. I'm sure there are others. Oh, I think my favorite, one of my favorites was one of the first ones I did was my first cosplay was Audrey from uh Road to Atlantis, the Lost, Empire. So I did Audrey from that show. That was my first one, and that posted really well. So yeah.
Okay. Um, what's one of your most like memorable moments from like being in the cosplaying world? Whether like it's going to conventions, like posing pictures with other people. Like what's a like memorable moment or like a highlight that you don't mind sharing with everyone?
Hmm. I think. Hmm. A memorable moment from cosplaying. I will say a memorable moment is when I was doing those lengthy posts and writing a lot underneath, that people would resonate with me in the comments and even DM me on the side and really hear me and provide their feedback and just like break down walls and barriers, which it's interesting because we're all strangers on the internet. So you kind of take it for granted at this point, but it's like, wow, like I'm sharing something online that like they're random strangers on the internet that like don't know me and are just hearing this information and they respond and they take it in and they'll provide feedback or just give words of encouragement. So I think those are my favorite, uh, favorite. I forgot the question, but I think that's my most
Yeah,
memorable.
no, that definitely. Um, so my next question, because everyone is different on this, and everyone has their own opinion about this, and
Oh wait, I have one more memorable moment.
go
One
ahead,
more memorable moment.
go ahead.
Sorry. Um, when Pixar reached out to me to repost one of my cosplays, that was pretty memorable. And they
What?
did. Yes. Sorry. So one of my other favorite cosplays was Frozone. I did Frozone, and
I'm going
it's
to
cool. So
Instagram
you'll have
right
to
now.
search. It's you can. So they posted it during Black Month. With me in a carousel with other Black cosplayers. So that was just. I don't know. I really appreciated that.
No
It felt
way.
good.
I'm going right now. This is gonna
Oh
take like
yes,
a
yes,
little
yes, yes, yes.
little pause.
Because
Scroll
I
down.
think Pixar is one company I would love to work for in the far future. So it felt like wow, like they see me. I don't know, but I appreciated that.
Yo, this. Oh my god. With the beam,
Yeah, that's me.
this is what we talking about. I'ma like this because I'ma share this. This that is what I call respect.
Thanks. I think that's probably one of my. I think that posted really well. I mean, if you look at their Frozen post, I did 52K. The post next to it of like the Rotted 2 week cosplayers did 17K, but this posted 157K.
Damn,
So I think that's like really great.
damn. That's wow. Um, damn. So that kind of goes. That actually segues beautifully into my next question, which is so
Mhm.
there's cosplay and crossplay, which like obviously there's normal cosplay of the same gender, and then there's crossplay where you're doing a gender bend. Do you have a preference or like do you?
No,
Okay, because
I do either. I've done a bunch of like crossplays. I've done like Aaron Yeager before. I've done
Eren
Gene.
Yeager.
Literally, I've done Gene. I've done like a funny one of him. Like I've done a bunch of like, yeah, that don't doesn't bother me at all.
There's this one lovely lady. Her username is Nerdy Pinup Girl, and she does like a lot of her stuff by hand, and
Hmm.
she has like hyperfixation, like most people nowadays do. And she's like, yeah, no, I was doing Poison Ivy, and like I went on a tangent for like 12 hours. My husband came home.
Mhm.
He's like, "Did you eat?" No, but like she's not stopping because she's super hyper focused.
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, no, like I've done job." You have a pet peeve when it comes to cosplaying?
No, I think if only like pet peeves I have, or maybe when I'm doing a cosplay and I feel like I don't look like the character. I think maybe that's my own personal pet peeve with it. I think sometimes it can be time consuming, depending on like for me when I used to like really edit my photos. It'd be really time consuming, and because it's so time consuming, it might not be enjoyable once I post it and I feel like I'm not getting the engagement that I would like. Um, I can say that I don't face a lot of negative criticism when I cosplay, and that could definitely be because of like colorism, and that could definitely play a part in that. So I recognize like my privilege when it comes to it versus like other cosplayers who can receive a lot of like negative comments and hate towards their cosplays. Or also like I could just not be that big of a cosplayer before. I mean, I've had like people comment. One person commented like, "Why is your skin black?" or something, and I was like, "Oh, I just drank like chocolate milk as a child. Like, obviously, like duh." So like, I don't know. It doesn't like bother me, but again, like I mean, that's just my personality, and I'm not getting a lot of like hate at a in a big lump. So you know, there will be people out there who don't like you, and that's just like the way it is.
It is what
Best
it
not to feed
is.
into it.
Yeah, no, it the moment it's that's one thing that I despise seeing on whether it's Instagram, TikTok, it doesn't matter that people are like, "Oh,
I think
that
TikTok is a lot more versus like Instagram, to be honest. I think people face that a lot more in TikTok than they do on Instagram. So,
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Um there's so many like female cosplayers that I follow, um, and it doesn't matter color, it doesn't matter. It's women that I
mhm.
follow, and the one comment I always hate seeing is someone being like, "Oh, that person's not a monkey or that person's not black." I'm like, the
Mm,
audacity that you have to
yeah.
say that, like on this
It's
person's
crazy.
page, this person is black, so this character is going to be black. Oh, the
Yeah.
character's not a woman, but this person is a woman. This person is doing the biggest form of flattery, which is imitating what they're seeing through their own eyes. So yeah,
Hmm.
does this person have like really curly hair, or do they have like the semi-afro in real life?
Hmm.
Yeah, but the character doesn't. But they're doing how
Hmm.
they feel,
Exactly how they
how the
portray the character.
yeah, and that was something that when I was talking to Prime and doing the interview with him, he was like, "Oh, when I did like one of my Power Rangers cosplay, and like I had to take off the helmet because it was just like really hot. People were like, oh, I always knew like no Power Ranger like that Tommy's black or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's he was happy about it because it was another black person saying to him. It's like, yeah, like I'm doing something that I wish someone did for me. So like no, he's
And you saw
done
that representation. Yeah.
yeah, where he said, "Oh, I've dressed up as Spider Man." And read like stories to kids at an elementary school, and just like seeing the smiles on their faces, and honestly, I feel like that's like being the representation that you want to be in the world. That Michael Jackson said it best. If I want to make a change in the world, I got to start with the man
Of course.
in the mirror.
Of course. I think we can only be trailblazers, at this not at this point, but I think like TikTok being a platform that opened up so many more voices and so many more creators. I feel like that on Instagram, which I feel like people had a hard time breaking through Instagram because all the algorithm sucked. Now there's so many more creators I see and so many more examples that you see who are into anime, who are not just cosplayers and girls, but so are men or non-binary, So I think there's so many more examples of like ways you could be in the anime industry or just, be involved.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. So I know you answered the thing of the question of your first cosplay convention. What was the most recent one convention that you went to?
I was at DreamCon.
Oh,
Yeah, it was so much
you and
fun.
everyone else.
I know.
My feed, my stories, everything was DreamCon.
I'm so it's every convention. I'll be another one next week, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Where are you getting this money from? Because
I
this shit
do
is so
not
fucking
one
expensive.
Delta Sky Miles. Use your Sky Miles points. Two. It's expensive. I mean, I'm not going to go to another con for a while. This year, the next con I'm going to is a work trip, so it doesn't feel as bad. I'm getting them like I'm getting expensed, so I'm not like crying. Um, but I mean, my upcoming cons other than this one will be in October. I mean, MNYC, New York Comic Cons. They're both in New York, so no out-of-pocket costs other than getting myself there. And I think I'm going to be going to anime week in Atlanta as well. I kind of want to go to Hallmat in December. I don't know. That's like, I can't help it. I like also I'm a cosplay
Everything you're saying
videographer.
is going to one ear, but out the other ear is dollar sign
No, I'm
ching ching ching.
yeah.
I'm like, I know, like, so I live in Massachusetts. I was going to go to Anime Boston, but I just
Oh, I love that's my favorite.
I almost went, but when I realized because like I only just recently like dove into like conventions and started going, I like when I was like, wait, Boston has to have one, and then when I like found it, it was like in a month and a half. I was like, yeah, your boy don't got money for that shit. So Rhode Island Comic
Yeah, I
Con
mean, it's just the sake of
2022.
hotels and stuff. That's
So
what we say.
I live an hour away from Boston. I'm not making that
Wow.
drive every day.
Go for
In
one day though. I feel like they have really great guest performers for Anime Boston.
yeah,
I like to go to Anime Boston for the panels as well. I think they've always have some great panels and they're so like interesting. Um,
that's actually I was lucky because when I decided to go to Rhode Island Comic Con last year, I'm going this year, which the guest list is so stacked. Um,
yeah, last year was it New York Comic Con, you're saying?
no, Rhode Island Comic Con.
Rhode Island.
It's who was last year? A lot of voice actors from My Hero was there. Some people from some live action stuff was there. The old white dude from fuck, it's not Patrick Stewart, but it's the other guy from like Star Trek that he was in those like Priceline commercials for years. Um,
I,
like it's an old white dude. I'm forgetting his name right now, and it's escaping me, and it's bothering me. But he was there, and a whole bunch of people from
mm.
Cobra Kai were there,
Oh
and
wow.
so yeah, so like February of this year, I was like, all right, let me go and try and buy my ticket. And then I saw that a whole bunch of people from Naruto are going to be there. The voice actor for Naruto, Shikamaru, um,
Japanese or English?
English,
Okay.
um, and a few other ones are going to be there. And then I saw Tara Strong like about a month ago. I was like, this bitch. Yep, yep.
Tara,
So
Tara
so
Strong. That
Jimmy,
sounds familiar.
not Jimmy Neutron. Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents, Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls, the Coin
I
like
would
bitch
love.
from
Oh my god.
Loki. Tara Strong is like so strong in the voice acting community. She's been doing it for decades. She's gonna be there. Danny Trejo is gonna be there. I saw that. I started freaking out. So if you've ever seen Spy Kids, it's the uncle.
Yeah.
I was like,
I just hate spending so much money for like autographs and stuff, you know? That's
a
just
portion of my shit is autographs. I
I just
have Mount
like
Lady's signature
$100.
in
I'm
my
like,
room.
wait,
It wasn't that expensive. I think like each signature I got, I also did like a photo with them, and I think I paid like maybe 50-60 bucks like per person. But I didn't do a lot of people. I did the OG Black
you,
Power Ranger. Actually, hold on, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second.
yeah. You know, one person I
I
saw that
keep
was
this one
expensive,
in a
people are
special
lining
place,
for.
so when I need to pull it out, I can pause.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Rolo would
like
love that. Yeah.
um, I got a few other signatures as well. Um,
Maybe I'll look into it.
yeah, it honestly I loved it. It was my first convention. It was my girlfriend's first convention as well. The only thing that irritated me was that like
The lines and stuff.
no, because I got the VIP pass. I paid like an extra
Mhm.
$100 to like skip all that. Now, if there's like someone that's been waiting in line for a few minutes, yeah, sure, go ahead. Like I have the skip you pass basically. Um, but I just went with like some sweaters of like my hero. I went with like a Naruto sweater and then like one other thing. Um, and there was my hero panel, and that day I wore my Deku sweater, and my girlfriend decided to wear a sweater from Haikyuu.
Wait, like
I
that thing?
I was a little bit pissed because like I bought her the Uraraka one
Oh,
and that one. I'm like, babe, you can't like it's the whole
they
point is
betray me. There's a whole point. There's
there's
a
like
whole
a
point.
whole thing setting up to this. Like I said, please wear your Uraraka one while I wear my Deku one. Like it's supposed to be.
New York Comic Con changed when it came to panels. I remember it was so easy to go to panels. I mean, the lines were really long. I remember so clearly. Um, one of my I started to go to anime panels near. It was my first con. And one panel I remember so vividly was a Kill a Kill panel. And this is when Kill a Kill like first ended or whatever. I think by Studio Trigger, and they had a panel I think with some of the voice actors and cosplayers who dressed up in the whole like the get up of it, and it was such a beautiful experience. It was insane. It was such a beautiful experience. And just hearing like the crowd like sing the opening theme song, like everyone together, and we're all geeking out. I play like the a snippet of like the next like the movie coming out. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite like early on anime convention experiences. And having people ask to take your photo, I think that's like one of the most like gratifying things when you cosplay, especially when you're doing builds for conventions. You put in all that work. When someone asks to take your picture, it feels like really good. It's
that
like,
that
wow, like you see me, you notice me.
notice me, senpai.
Exactly.
I was about to ask that if you've had any of those moments where someone like yells out the name of the character that you're cosplaying. They're like, I need to take a picture with you.
So I actually don't cosplay at anime conventions anymore. I used to that I think one that time, another time was I think I did it once more 2020, like before the pandemic happened. But I actually didn't do it since then. I mean, I'm trying to find cosplays that are because I do cosplay music videos that are easily I can squat, walk around like I'm recording with my gimbal. So something like that I feel comfortable and like confident in.
No, that makes
But I don't know.
sense.
If for some reason when I go to anime conventions, I don't feel like confident in like the. Sorry, I'm like looking at my window so much because it's the lights are bright in my room, so a bunch of bugs are on the other side of the window, like on like like I'm like looking in. I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out. I'm like, gosh, please hold these windows. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping like I'll find a cosplay that I feel super confident in to like walk around an anime convention with, or I think I plan on doing that for new Anime NYC. So stay tuned. I might be cosplaying
Okay.
and
As we dwindle down to the last couple of questions, one I know not everyone has done, but have you done like photo shoots for any of your cosplay characters? That like you'll go on and just be you and the photographer.
Yes, I think for my Catwoman cosplay, I did a photo shoot outside. But for a few of them, for a few of my for most of my pictures, I used to do it with like a I have a professional camera. And I would just do it at home. I haven't done like I think the Catwoman was the only one where I had like a light and actual like someone taking a photo of me. I'm trying to remember others. I can't quite remember at this moment, but the Catwoman one I did for Halloween was definitely one that.
Okay. Um, what does cosplaying mean to you?
Cosplaying to me means inclusivity. It means bringing thoughts and ideas to life, and making characters that we love tangible and real. Um, It means bringing something that you love to life to share with other people. It means bringing things to life that you love, that you appreciate, that you hold close to your heart, that you can see and look back on and feel good about. Cosplaying means giving yourself more confidence. Um, it means connecting with other communities and other cosplayers and bonding over things that you love that you did not have. I mean, I think most of us like growing up. But yeah,
And
loaded answer.
no, it's perfect because everyone in life has like their own views and their own opinions on things.
Mhm.
So that's why I make sure to ask that question because like some people will be like, hey, just be an inspiration. Hey, just be there for like for you for that self confidence, um, and it's all like because you and I are not the same person. We were not raised the same, so it's like our views and like what we've seen in life are drastically different from one another. And the last question I'm gonna ask is for anyone that wants to get into cosplay, what do you say to them?
Just do it. I think a lot of times we just doubt ourselves that we can't do things, and things can be really simple. You can buy, I mean, cosplay is so accessible now. You can literally go on Amazon and search something up and just buy it. I think we stress about not looking like the character, not having all the pieces to be a certain character. And I say just do it. Like, you may not look 100%, but as long as, you love and you appreciate what you do, other people will see the same light and, feed off of your energy. So I just do it. I think it's so hard taking the first step. Once you take that first step, the others follow so easily.
Okay. Well, again, we thank you taking your time,
Of
time out of your
course.
day to do this. Um,
Of course.
but again, thank you so much. And honestly, I can't wait to see the more cosplays that you do. Um, and this, honestly, every step of the way that like I've been diving into like cosplaying and seeing how like you or like anyone else embodies the characters that they embody. Like I honestly feel a sense, not a sense like uh, I don't know if you've seen Dragon Ball Abridged where Vegeta's like, oh, like no pride in someone else, and it's like just seeing
Mhm.
that like you take pride in it, that I'm going to see you and I'm going to acknowledge you at your level and just like like help you lift you up because that's all that I can do. You go and see someone like Renee Goddess. This was gonna be the first episode where
Mm,
I did not bring her up, and like I'm gonna do a Renee Goddess counter one day,
yes.
and it's just be like
They're
click,
amazing. Their
click.
cosplays are really chef's kiss.
Oh, they're beautiful, and like sometimes it's just very simplistic. Where she's just like wearing a shirt, a wig, and glasses. I'm like, damn, that's when she went and did Gojo. I was like, so do I call you Daddy Gojo or Mommy
Yes.
Gojo in
I
this?
literally everyone like I bow at their JoJo cosplays. Bow on my hands and knees. Just give my money. Just take my money. Take everything. Please. Step on me. To be honest.
This is not Fire Force, right? It's not Princess Hanabi where she looks at everyone like gravel, and it's
I
but
feel that.
it's honestly just like seeing how everyone just like embodies, and that's why like I actually talked to the guys. I was like, hey, like let's do this because let's help shine a light on something that either a doesn't have enough light on it, or b someone could be wary. So just hearing someone else expressing how they go about it, how they feel about it, maybe that can
Mm.
help.